If you're in Colnura, Lower McDonald, Central McDonald, Lower Mangrove, Green Grove, Mangrove Creek, Mangrove Mountain and Central Mangrove, you should be monitoring conditions, and leaving early is your safest option. And if that is your plan and you're in the Mangrove Mountain area, you should use the Wiseman's Ferry Road and Peats Ridge Road to head towards Gosford. Those in Gunderman and Spencer, you'll see an increase in fire activity due to backburning operations over the coming days, and those in Peats Ridge, Calga, Mount White and Glenworth Valley, Buckety, St Albans, Mogo Creek and Higher Macdonald should also be monitoring conditions. And finally, the Kerry Ridge Fire, Sarah, continues to burn within the Wollamai National Park, but it's now moved east into the Putty State Forest as well as into the Corricudgee State Forest. Residents and landholders in the vicinity of this fire should continue to remain vigilant and monitor the situation, as this fire has also been upgraded to a watch and act. You can keep up to date on the Fires Near Me website and app. And of course, if your life is in danger, you can call 000. The next update will be in about half an hour's time.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.
Focus
On ABC Radio Sydney. Well, we're going to hear a very sad but hopefully a healing story about something that's happening at Gladesville Hospital later this afternoon, very soon. But just back at education, judging by your texts, it's a big topic in your household. Kip says teaching kids to pass or fail standardised tests is only teaching them about standard tests. Teach them to think. Well, that is being done. What if we change what we do at schools and do it in a very different way? At the moment, 42 New South Wales schools are using a new approach called 4C transformative learning. Your child's school may be one of them. Now, we've heard of the 3 R's. This is the 4 C's. Professor Michael Anderson is the co-creator of it. He's a professor of education at Sydney University. And I spoke to him just before he went off to a school this morning. And he started by outlining what 4C transformative learning actually is.
Well, Sarah, it's a network of schools and partnerships, basically. So what we do in 4C transformative learning is we work with schools on the ground, not in any quick fix kind of silver bullet way. It's a partnership that goes for sometimes 2, 3, 4 years, because of course transforming schools takes more than 10 minutes. It's a long-term process. They're complex places. So what we do is we work with curriculum, we work with pedagogy, which is basically learning and teaching, we work with leadership, and we wrap ourselves around the problems that are facing the schools. So different schools have different problems, but we all know about schools, and all the research tells us this, that high-quality teaching, engaging kids, providing agency, which giving them a voice and helping them to understand how to give other people voice are all critical skills. So we're working on those processes all the time to help schools kind of change radically what they're doing.
And how will that help get around this narrowing and teaching to test that's happening around NAPLAN and standardised testing?
Well, the problem that we face with NAPLAN and all the brouhaha around NAPLAN is we're again offering the same solutions that haven't worked in the past. So we're saying, we need to work more on a narrow set of skills, but the issue is we've got to broaden out and connect the skills that we want that kids need. We know from the research that the world of work is changing, that collaboration, communication, critical reflection, and creativity are going to be central, but we don't see them explicitly in the curriculum. And if teachers don't understand how to use those skills, how to apply those skills, how to teach those skills, kids aren't going to learn them just by osmosis out of the air.
So they're your 4 C's.
They're the 4 C's.
And then, so what can you teach them within your reading, writing, arithmetic? Because some people say we need to bring it back to the basics.
Well, these are the basics. I mean, how more basic can you get than creativity? It's what has allowed us to be human for millennia. A collaboration is also these are the basics. So we're not saying literacy and numeracy have no place. Of course, they are foundational, but they need to be taught in the context of how they link with other subjects and how they connect. Because we have in schools in many places silos. This is a bit of knowledge and that's a bit of knowledge and this is a bit of knowledge, but what's connecting them? So if you're a Year 7 kid going for your first day on high school, that'll happen in 3 months' time, you've gone from often a place where there's integrated learning, concepts are connected up, and all of a sudden you're facing the English silo and the math silo and the history silo. So how do you bring those all together? There was
Do you bring them together? Do you have one
Yeah.
teacher who teaches the whole day? Because
Well-
that reduces our specialisation.
No, you don't.
Knowledge.
You don't necessarily do that. But what you do is you think flexibly about what you might be able to do and what you can do. So, for instance, Murwillumbah High School did a project earlier this year that we were involved in around Diwali, which is an Indian festival, and they brought their 100 kids in Year 7 all together. That's a fairly, that would make most teachers' brains explode, and I've been a teacher, I understand why that would make their brains explode. But they brought them into the same group and they taught science, history, geography, creative arts in the same context, and then the kids presented back that content to the rest of the school. And what's happening because of that is Year 7 is now leading learning in that school. They've got a more connected understanding of learning, their confidence is way up, their engagement is way up. And so for that school, that's changed completely what's possible for them.
And how are teachers responding to this? Because, teachers can probably and justifiably and understandably get sick of constantly being told that they're the issue here.
Well, so teachers aren't the issue. The system is the issue that constrains them. And there's this constant pressure to, get better NAPLAN scores or, get up the PISA charts. But actually what this is about is bringing teachers back to their first love, which is learning. This is about how you instill deep learning in a school. I was at a school in another state earlier in the year, and I said to the principal, what we're all about is deep learning, how we bring deep learning back into the school. And this principal said to me, we haven't got any time for deep learning, we've got to get our scores up. Now, to me, that's kind of the canary in the coal mine. When you've got a school leader saying, we haven't got time for learning in a school, that's when everything's gone.
We've just got time to teach to NAPLAN. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah,
because they want the ranking.
Right. So how do you test success in this area? How do you test for connectivity and creative learning and critical thinking about what they're doing and communication? Because you're right, they are the skills for the future that our kids will need in some sort of new, who knows what sort of future.
So you test it at a school level by setting up an understandable way of teaching and learning and then connecting that to assessment. So we've got this